Shit, my niggas. I had to take a break from meditation just now because Sahasrara Chakra crown, it just felt like there was a massive amount of energy going up from my third eye to my crown, and it was like opening, and it's like the most uncomfortable sensation. Having that amount of energy anywhere in your head is just uncomfortable. Extremely. Anyone who has experienced it knows exactly what I'm talking about. Anywhere, any part of your body, except for one area, your lower dantian, holding a ton of energy is just bad news. God. Only did like 12 minutes too, and suddenly this shit is popping off. Anyway, I'll take a break, then I'll do 50 minutes sitting up, 50 lying down. That's usually what I do, apart from all the other stuff that I do. But man, if I have too much energy going on, right, like I just will skip. It's a horrible feeling. So let's get into it, boys and girls. We're continuing with 365 Tao. I know it's reversed on the video, but just I'll have the name written in the video description below. Daily Meditations by Deng Ming-Dao. I was actually checking out Mr. Deng, or is it Mr. Ming-Dao? I'm sorry, I don't know. But I saw him in a couple videos, and I really liked the way he was describing the human being a microcosm of the macrocosm, which is everything else. You know, while I am on this path, it's hard not to see this because the world isn't one as we perceive it, isn't one sentient being, right? But it's also on its own path. And human beings are just one part of that path. I hope we can remain part of the path, but I'll remain practical. Another thing, before I forget, I had an interesting psychic experience this morning. My mom had left earlier and I was asleep. I didn't hear her go. Okay. But when she was coming back with the car, before she hooted, I heard her calling for my dad. And then I woke up, right? She wasn't in the house, right? She was outside past the gate in the car, right? And then I went right after I woke up, she hooted. Now the skeptic in me says, okay, maybe subconsciously I was able to hear the car, even though when I'm consciously awake, I can't hear it, when I'm in my room and it's past the gate. It's this is about, I'd say the gate is maybe 50 meters away from my room and through several very thick walls. So yeah, I can't hear the car, but maybe I could subconsciously. And that translated into that sort of thing. Weird shit happens when you're just on the brink of waking up. A lot of psychic or just strange things happen in that mental state. Nevertheless, I thought it was cool. This is nothing new to me. Trust me, I've had a lot of that stuff happen. All right, page 2. Ablution. One final note, the way I'm going to be doing this book, the way I'll approach it is what you hear me talk about is just straight raw. Okay? That's if you caught me on the street and told me, okay, read this is what my first impression would be. Because I just want it to be a natural, spontaneous sort of thing. What do these words mean to me as I see them at that moment? And I'm sure as I go along, my interpretation of the verses will change and everything. But yeah, I don't look at it before. I've gone through some of it, okay, but I will not examine it the day before or prepare or anything. It'll just be my straight opinion off the cuff. Page 2, Ablution. Washing at dawn. Rinse away dreams. Protect the gods within and clarify the inner spirit. The gods within. I'll talk about that later. Okay. Purification starts all practice. First comes cleansing of the body, not to deny the body, but so it is refined. Once cleansed, it can help us sense the divine. I would say purification doesn't just start practice, it is what the practice is all about, you know. Even as right now I'm like concentrating on the lower dantian, trying to bring more chi towards it and all that, and the dantian naturally like refines it and all that, it's still a process of purification, not just energy storage, right? I'm in a way trying to purify my body, because the excess chi is used to like heal and all that. I've had many experiences where chi has actually healed some very old physical wounds, never mind emotional and all that. But the further along you go, it's still the spiritual path is just a path of continuous refinement to ever deeper levels. That's the way I've experienced it anyway. I don't think there's ever a point where that just really stops, or at least I'm not aware of it. Never heard of it either. But who knows? Maybe. Once cleansed, it can help us sense the divine. Okay. Rinsing away dreams is a way of saying that we must not only dispel the illusions and anxieties of our sleeping moments, but those of our waking ones as well. Okay. Illusions. Okay. All life is a dream, not because it isn't there, but because we all project different meanings upon it. We must cleanse away this habit. Yeah. And the interesting thing about life and dreams and all that is they're completely, to a certain extent, they are very subjective. Okay. You and I could be sitting in this exact same car having a completely different experience of it, largely based on our own like preconceived notions of like, oh, this is what a car is supposed to be versus whatever else. Okay. Or whatever else is going on inside us at the time, you know. So life being a dream, you know, in Buddhism this is sort of like a major thing. And in fact the Buddha, um there's a poem, a wonderful poem of his. I forget how it starts, but basically he says he taught a dreamlike dharma to dreamlike beings, something along those sort of lines. And I'm sure any Buddhists like watching this will be like, yeah, well, this is how it actually went, right? But the notion that the ego's perception of reality, ultimate reality, is more or less an illusion. It's about as concrete as our dreams are. And we all know how in concrete, that's not a word, but we all know how slippery and how continuously shifting and changing dreams tend to be. I don't know why I forgot the word for that, but anyway, how flexible or how like transient dreams are. We all know that, but could you imagine that our ego's perception of reality is just as illusory as our dreams? And even when it's in the case of staring at an object, you know, Single pointed concentration is all about just letting your awareness dissolve into an object, just by looking at it. And even the act of not doing anything or anything like that, it's sort of like just shifts the dream away from what you thought you were looking at to what you actually are looking at. I hope I'm being clear. Anyway, we must cleanse away this habit, okay? While cleansing, we naturally look within. It is believed that there are 36,000 gods and goddesses in the body. If we continually eat bad foods, intoxicate ourselves, allow filth to accumulate anywhere outside or inside of ourselves, then these gods abandon us in disgust. Well, the number 36 is really big in Taoism, and I think other religions, as is 72 and stuff like that. Um, Perhaps the gods and goddesses could be referring to um, little bindus and nadis in the body. Now, in Vajrayana, a nadi is just a channel in your body where chi is able to most easily flow through. Okay. You can think of it like a hole or a wire. And so the act of cleansing your nadis, removing blockages, is seen in to some degree as literally like straightening them out. Okay. Now, when it comes to like 36,000 goddesses and stuff like that, Vajrayana, as I was saying earlier, it actually mapped the human body. I'll get an image and post it on the website. It mapped like hundreds of thousands of nadis within the human body. And I suspect they're actually way more than that. That's just what the yogis were able to detect and map out. And I think it's really cool. So I think they're probably, if you view the gods and goddesses as more like just aspects of yourself or parts of your psychospiritual body, not as a big thing like, oh, I got spirits inside me or anything like that. They just think of it as like just components of who you are that don't function at the best possible state if you continually pump filth and shit into your mind and your body. Just think of it like that. Yet, our concerns must ultimately go beyond these deities in the temples of our bodies to the universal one, the source. After we clear away the obstructing layers of dirt, bodily problems, and delusions, we must be prepared to even to clear away the gods themselves so that we can reach the inner one. Okay. I like that. I like that. It goes back to my Mahamudra, in the very first line, you know, all things are your own mind, you know. It's kind of like what we talked about yesterday. If you stare at something or if you concentrate on something for long enough and you imagine it to be something else, it takes the properties of whatever else you're talking about, or you are concentrating on about. You know what I mean? So all this, the way I understood this is all the various manifestations of everything in the immediate external world, as we are meditating, we calm our mind and we try to go to deeper and deeper levels. If we lose awareness even of our body, okay, I've experienced this many times. And when you go deeper than that, you lose a awareness of even having a mind or being a thing. Okay, on a few occasions I've managed to glimpse that. where it's actually kind of like a blissful sensation of just expanding awareness. Okay. And it's crystal clear. Like it's like you were dreaming. I swear, it literally is like you are dreaming and you just woke up and you're like, whoa, what the fuck have I been doing for all these years? Like, I've been carrying this burden with me, thinking about shit that does not matter at all this time, when I could have been like this the whole time. I could have been crystal clear, happy, you know? It's like, yeah, I strongly agree that the ultimate goal of cultivation in the Taoist context is to reach that state of just letting go of delusion, you know, of abstraction. Yeah, I like that page. I wish I could read Chinese. There's some really cool characters over there. It's reversed, but just I think a Chinese speaker would be able to identify them. Washing at dawn, rinse away dreams. The immortal fetus is also seen as a type of deity. You know, it's literally seen as a divine seed that grows within your Lord Antien, and which you can later embody and use to go anywhere. A body that does not age or degrade or anything like that. I needed this. I was having difficulties with celibacy and all that because in the first week the libido tends to go up for me anyway. It tends to really skyrocket and then like crash and go up and down like 10 times before finally like leveling out. And then there's like a crashing period sometimes for a long time, and then it starts going back up. So today, well, it was just up and down. It was hard, but that was our discussion for today. I hope it was useful. Please feel free to ask me anything you want within reason. And hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.